Welcome to Understanding the World. Today we're diving into the surprising and complex story of what's often called the world's oldest profession, prostitution. Prostitution has deep roots stretching back thousands of years, long before the societies we know today. But this isn't just a story about a profession, it's about power, economy, morality, and survival. Whether seen as taboo, tolerated, or revered, prostitution has always been part of the human story. And the history might surprise you. Our journey begins in the cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia. Around 4,000 years ago, prostitution was not just accepted, it was even sacred. In ancient Sumer, certain women called sacred prostitutes participated in religious rituals honoring Inanna, the goddess of love and fertility. These acts were believed to bring humans closer to the divine. In those days, prostitution wasn't hidden or stigmatized, it was celebrated. In ancient Egypt, prostitution took many forms. Some courtesans were respected figures connected to temples, while others worked in the streets, which was tolerated but seen as less prestigious. Then in ancient Greece, prostitution became highly organized. Wealthy men often sought out hetairai-educated women who offered both companionship and intellectual conversation. These women had social influence and freedom that other Greek women could only imagine. But not all prostitutes enjoyed this status. Those in brothels known as pornai faced a much different life. Even here, there was a hierarchy. The Romans took a very pragmatic approach. Prostitution in Rome was legal, taxed, and openly part of society. Brothels, or lupernaria, were found throughout the empire, and sex work was a visible aspect of daily life. Some emperors, like Caligula, even attempted to profit by establishing state-run brothels. Sex work spanned all social classes, from slaves to free people. Yet, Roman law required prostitutes to register and branded them with a lower status. Even so, prostitution was widely accepted as part of Roman culture. With the rise of Christianity in Europe, prostitution took on a darker reputation. By the Middle Ages, the Church condemned it morally, yet paradoxically tolerated it as a necessary evil. Many cities regulated brothels and required prostitutes to dress in specific clothing to set them apart. Surprisingly, some brothels were even located near churches, showing a reluctant acceptance within society. Figures like St. Augustine argued that without prostitution, unchecked lust could destabilize society. This uneasy acceptance shaped much of medieval Europe. In the 19th century, the West took a hard line against prostitution. As moral movements grew, many countries banned or severely restricted it, but other places, like the Netherlands, chose regulation instead. By the early 2000s, prostitution was legalized and monitored there, allowing health checks and protections for workers. Today, attitudes vary wildly. Some places criminalize it, forcing it into the shadows, while others have embraced legalization to protect workers. Prostitution remains a topic of heated debate. The story of prostitution is as old as humanity itself. From sacred rituals to underground economies, from acceptance to stigma, through it all, prostitution reflects our shifting views on morality, power, and human relationships. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history's most controversial profession. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe to Understanding the World for more surprising stories from our past. Let us know in the comments what surprised you most about this history.